Michael Jackson, the king of pop, the most recognizable man in the world. By 1996, Michael wasn't just a musician. He was a global force. His music, his moves, his scandals. Every part of his life was magnified under a microscope. But in February of that year, when he arrived in Brazil to shoot one of the boldest videos of his career, Michael stepped into a world he could not control.
Tell me something for the Brazilian people, please.
I love you, Brazil.
On paper, it was just another music video shoot. In reality, it became a collision of politics, poverty, crime, and conspiracy. Michael Jackson, the most famous entertainer alive, dancing in a Rio favela, protected not by police, not by the government, but by a feared drug lord. This is the story the Brazilian government didn't want told. The whispers of secret payoffs, the rumors of missing footage, and why some insiders believe Michael's Rio shoot was far more dangerous and more politically explosive than the world ever realized. After the chaos of the 1993 child abuse scandal, Michael was desperate to remind the world of his genius. His double album, H.I. Story, was part autobiography, part protest, and at the center was They Don't Care About Us, a song that tore into systemic racism, police violence, and political corruption. Michael wasn't just trying to make another hit. He wanted to spark outrage, provoke governments, and show solidarity with the oppressed. To bring the song to life, he enlisted filmmaker Spike Lee, and together they made a radical choice. Film the video in the streets of Brazil, not in Copacabana, not by the glamorous beaches, but inside the favelas, the sprawling hillside slums controlled by gangs. It was the ultimate risk. The chosen location was Santa Marta, a favela in Rio de Janeiro. In the mid-90s, Santa Marta wasn't a tourist attraction. It was a war zone. Poverty, drug trafficking, and violent clashes between gangs and police defined daily life. Outsiders rarely dared to enter. And yet, here came Michael Jackson, arguably the most famous man alive. Witnesses describe heavily armed guards on rooftops, patrolling alleyways, and shadowing the crew's every move. Not the police, not Michael's bodyguards, but men with AK-47s and pistols, gang soldiers under Marcino VP's command. For 2 days, Michael Jackson danced under the eyes of the world and under the watch of one of Brazil's most feared criminals. And here's where the whispers start. Locals have long claimed that Michael's team paid off the drug lords to guarantee peace during the shoot. Some say it was cash. Others suggest it was favors or promises of influence. To this day, Spike Lee has denied it, but the rumors persist. A Brazilian newspaper at the time suggested that arrangements were made with favela leadership, though it never printed the figures. Insiders whispered numbers, tens of thousands of dollars, some say more, funneled discreetly to ensure the king of pop was untouchable. Whether true or not, one thing is certain. No outsider walked into Santa Marta without permission from the traffickers. And Michael Jackson wasn't just any outsider. He was the world's biggest star. What made the situation even more surreal was the reaction of Brazil's government. Officials were horrified. To them, Michael Jackson's video wasn't art, it was bad publicity. Brazil in the 90s was trying to rebrand itself as an emerging global power, not a land of crime and poverty. And here was Michael Jackson, about to beam images of barefoot children, crumbling houses, and machine gun-wielding guards to millions around the world. They tried everything to stop it. Permits were challenged. Court injunctions were filed. Politicians begged Michael to film elsewhere, offering the beaches and landmarks of Rio as alternatives. But Michael refused. He wanted the raw truth. Spike Lee wanted authenticity, and Marcino VP had already guaranteed safety. So the shoot went ahead, despite the government, not because of it. Here's where the conspiracy theories take root. According to crew members, Spike Lee's original cut of They Don't Care About Us contained much harsher imagery. Wider shots of armed guards, lingering frames of gang control, raw depictions of poverty. But not all of it made it to release. Brazilian authorities pressured MTV and international broadcasters to limit distribution of certain versions, arguing the footage was too damaging to Brazil's image. Some clips were allegedly pulled, others heavily edited. Even today, fans debate whether the original raw cut was buried due to government interference, or whether Spike and Michael agreed to tone it down for commercial viability. As for Marcinho VP, his connection to Michael became an open secret in Rio. Residents bragged that their favela had hosted the King of Pop, protected by their boss. Some even suggested Marcinho himself appeared in the background of certain shots, though this remains disputed. Years later, when Marcinho was imprisoned, journalists revisited the story. Some painted it as an example of how deeply traffickers controlled Rio, that not even Michael Jackson could bypass them. Others framed it as poetic, the King of Pop needing the blessing of the King of the Favela. Either way, the bond between the two worlds, the glittering global icon and the underground crime boss, became a permanent part of Rio's mythology. When They Don't Care About Us finally dropped, the reaction was explosive. For many fans, it was one of Michael's boldest works, unapologetic, raw, and politically charged. For Brazil, it was a national scandal. Politicians fumed, but the people of Santa Marta celebrated. Michael had given them visibility, dignity, and a strange kind of immortality. Today, a statue of Michael still stands in Santa Marta, where locals guide tourists to the very spot he danced. It's a shrine, not just to the King of Pop, but to the two surreal days when Hollywood, politics, and organized crime collided in their neighborhood. And the whispers still remain. Did Michael's team really pay off a drug lord? Was footage destroyed to protect Brazil's reputation? Was Michael aware of how dangerous the situation truly was? Or was he simply chasing authenticity at any cost? The truth may never fully be known, but one thing is undeniable. Michael Jackson's Rio shoot wasn't just a music video. It was a political act, a risky gamble, and a moment when the King of Pop stepped into a world where even his fame couldn't protect him. Only the power of the streets could.